Well, here we are. It's another Saturday morning, and it is time for the Cummins Real Estate Group show with local rock star realtor Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. Good morning, Michele.
Good morning, Curtis Pope. How are you today?
I am doing well. Of course, I look forward to Saturday mornings and my chance to talk to you every week.
Every Saturday morning. Get something to look forward to. But this Saturday is a special Saturday because it's the May long weekend.
It is. It's the May long weekend, the unofficial kickoff to summer.
Yeah, actually it is. And the weather has proved it lately.
Absolutely. It's been amazing.
I'm in Vancouver actually this morning at my Airbnb condo I have here. And it's been so fun. I've been loving it. But I'm not on my motorcycle, so.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad, right? But you do have an amazing view of Falls Creek where you're at.
Yes, the Cirque du Soleil tent out there, Falls Creek, and there was a fire a little while ago, one of the buildings in Gastown, and I could actually see it from here too. So we got that view with the North Shore Mountains and, right, we could walk like a block, half block from Rogers Arena, all the concerts, games, everything's right here. It's amazing. Some great restaurants. Love it.
And you're in one of those cool newer buildings because it's a rounded building, right? Not your typical square building.
Yeah, exactly. I've got this huge curvature to it. It's a 2-bedroom. And so when you walk in, all you see is through the windows. It's so gorgeous. It's like floor-to-ceiling windows, and we've got a balcony, and the pool and the hot tub and the sauna makes it so nice, too. It's like your own spa right here in your own building. It's really nice. I love it. I try to get out here as much as I can when it's not rented.
And you sent Richard home, so you're getting some peace and quiet.
Exactly. Finally. No. We had a lot of fun. We explored a couple new restaurants. We had a friend for one night come over from the island. He's actually a realtor from the island, Remax and Comox, and him and Richard went to high school together. So they got long history together. So that was a lot of fun. So we have a guest on our show today that we're going to bring in the first segment. And just going back to my Airbnb here, when I bought this one, luckily it was vacant. But the Airbnb I bought in Sasquatch Mountain Resort wasn't. It was full of junk. I mean, full of old furniture that was broken, junk all around under the deck and under the back deck. Like, there was so much stuff. And there's no way I wanted to go up and spend all that time trying to get rid of everything. And so there's a lot of junk in our lives and, material junk and other junk. So we really wanted to bring our guest in to share with us some of the different ways that he does his business. So before I go into that, I wanted to mention a couple events that I have coming up because talking about my Airbnb Vancouver condo, my Sasquatch one, I've got the Oregon Coast one, that part of my investment portfolio is short-term rental, also long-term rental, and others. So we have an event this Thursday night. It's via Zoom, so easy. You can do it from home after the kids go to bed. It's at 7 p.m., and it's about half hour to an hour, depending on the questions afterwards. But I've got a lineup of professionals. We're talking about investments. So we have a webinar series, real estate series. We do one a month, and it's always a different topic. And this month, it's about investing. So we've got a lawyer, we've got a mortgage broker, we've got a financial advisor, and we've got a secret special guest that will be there, and, of course, myself, a realtor and investor. So that is this Thursday via Zoom, 7 p.m. Please RSVP either from just email me or through my website or through our Facebook business page, and you can be part of that. We have a $100 gift card giveaway that we're giving to those who log in and are there. So lots of good information for you there. The other event is a special event for realtors only. It's at a beautiful, amazing listing of mine out on Meadowlands Golf Course. It's actually right adjacent to the golf course, and it's got literal 180 degrees of perfectly manicured lawns, trees. The way the sun sets and rises there is just gorgeous with the sun beaming through the trees. Gorgeous. This house is from the 70s, and it's so funky and so cool, and it's got such a nice vibe, and the windows are huge. And so you could just see all the views and the decks and everything. So that is this coming Friday morning. We're having coffee and pastries, a little breakfast. So wear your golf hat and bring your golf clubs. For all realtors who listen to our show, please come out next Friday for that event at 9 a.m., 9 to 11. And we're giving away 2 tickets to a day of golf plus a golf cart rental there at Meadowlands Golf and Country Club. So that's at 9 to 11 this Friday. RSVP again on my Facebook business page, and you could be part of that. And we, of course, love everyone coming out. But okay, so those are our events. So now on to our guests. So, okay, our special guest has been 5 years in the junk removal business, and he does things very differently than your typical business person or junk removal company. His name is Joel Karlsson, and he's with us from Integrity Junk Removal, and he's got 105.
25.
How many, Joel?
125.
Oh, my goodness, 125 Google reviews. Oh, my goodness. Joel, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Michele, thank you so much. How are you this morning?
Oh, very good. Thank you. So, Joel, talking about, I've needed it junk removal before, but also so many of my clients, obviously. But you don't. There's a few junk removal companies out there. But how? Okay. First question is, how did you decide to get into this business? That would be my first question.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll try to give you a little snapshot. Basically, what happened is we realized that a couple of my sons had some special needs, that they were diagnosed with autism. And so then what happened is I needed to be closer to home. I needed to figure out a way to stay closer to home. So I attempted to try and have a liquidation company. And that didn't pan out because we ended up having our entire home, every spare room that I had, filled full of items that I was trying to sell online. And my wife said, you are an amazing entrepreneur. I just don't think you've nailed it yet. So I shifted, pivoted from liquidations into junk removal and just absolutely found my niche. So it's an interesting story. I have pictures on my website to show the evolution of my company. We started with, believe it or not, a car and a borrowed trailer. Yes, I said a car.
Learned a School of Hard Knocks, or
Yeah.
that is so amazing, because that's how such great businesses have taken off and done so well. Is you got such a good discipline and mindset to just really work hard.
Well, the thing about starting a business, a small business, at least the way that I looked at it, Michele, is that to go into debt to start a business, I was raised by my grandfather for a period of time, and he's just a no nonsense, working really, really hard into his late 70s. So I took that mindset and I said, okay, well, what's an inexpensive way that I can do this where the client still gets what they need, but as I'm just starting, I can take these small steps. So that's the way we did it. We started with a car, and I used to joke with people all the time. They said, you've got to be kidding. Is that a car? And I said, it's a Chevy HHR, which is built on a truck chassis. So
I was just going to ask you what car it was.
Yeah, so I had that for a period of time, and then went from that into a trailer. And then so I did about 300 jobs by myself when I started, because, you have to do what you can, right? You get started, and you got to start somewhere. My wife built me a Facebook page, and that was kind of the beginning. And now I'm happy to say I have a half a dozen guys, and I have 2 dump trailers. The other trailers that I had were not dumped, so you'd put the items in, and then you would have to manually unload the items a second time.
Oh, wow.
So I don't do that anymore. Now I have dump trailers. But the most exciting part of what I get to do every day, just like yourself, Michele, is I get to meet new people. I thrive on connecting with people, And second, I get to help people.
Oh, yes, exactly.
And so that's where I think, we have a similar parallel. You're wanting to find people an absolutely amazing view for the next 20 years for the husband and wife, and same thing for me. I'm wanting to take back their space, whether it be their physical space, whether it be their emotional space, whether it be their mental space, or their spiritual space.
I have to ask, how did you choose your name, Integrity Junk Removal?
That's a great question. As I said, there was a period of time I was raised by my grandfather, and when I look around, I see a lot of people doing things that don't line up with that word in my industry and in other industries. We see scandals of corporations all the time, right? And so I just looked at it, and I've kind of, looked at my life, the way that I've led my life, and I just decided, you know what? I think that this is the right name. This is the way I do things. I do things, what I say I'm going to do is exactly what I do. There's no variation or shadow or changing from that. What I say is what you get. And so it seems to be a name that people have connected with. But if you look on all of my advertising, you'll also notice that there's a small red circle, and it says PS 26. And that's from Psalm 26 from the Bible. And the thing is that for me, I have faith, and I didn't know about this particular verse until after I started the company. But then I found it, and it pretty much nails what I do. So it says, I purpose to live my life with integrity.
Trust. It's so important. Integrity. So very important.
So, and so I've had multiple circumstances like this where I've done a job for someone in different circumstances, and we find gold necklaces or gold bracelets or rings or this or that or whatever, and I always contact them and say, hey, look, we found this. I just wanted to let you know, can I drop this off? What's the best plan? I've shipped watches from one province to another. And one of the most interesting things that we found that we thought that would be valuable that the customer didn't realize that had been discarded was a Canadian national grass hockey medal.
Oh, wow.
So the wife was the one tossing everything out. This is at a location in Augustin. And so I come and I do what I do. And, as we're putting things out, we always, we'll get into it eventually here, but I don't just throw things away. I don't just put things in the landfill. And so if you want to ask me more on that, or I don't know if you want me to just expand on that, however you like. But as we were sorting through, we found this item. And so I reached out to this guy, and the wife was a little bit sheepish about it having it gone out. But, the good news is we got it back to him. Right?
That's amazing, and I do want you to expand on that when we come back from break. You just throwing away valuable things reminds me, and actually Richard reminds me all the time. Throughout my many years ago, I've been in Canada since 1998, and when I became a Canadian citizen, or my papers, anyways, it used to be papers back when, and maybe it was my landed status or something, but I threw it out, and it was really important paperwork, and I had to go through 6 months or whatever it was to try to get it again. And Richard always reminds me I throw out, important things sometimes, like my Canadian immigration papers. So it's nice that you catch things like that for people.
We try.
So, Michele, now you know when you want to get rid of one of Richard's 2,700 guitars, how you have to do it so that Richard doesn't catch it.
I'd have to give Joel a hint. Joel, that really is for throwaway. Giveaway, not throwaway.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we should probably take a quick break right now. Michele, if people want more information about what services you provide as a realtor, where can they go?
MicheleCummins.ca.
We're back with more right after this. back with segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. And of course, we have our guest. We have Joel from Integrity Junk Removal. Now, Joel, if I had some stuff kicking around the house and I wanted to get rid of it, maybe a china hutch or some kind of a cabinet, and I called you now, I understand that you like to keep stuff out of the landfill. So how does that all work?
That's a great question, Curtis. The examples you use may not be ones that are the best examples to talk about, but so basically, here's the thing, right? Our company, our mindset is to create the smallest amount of footprint of garbage in the landfill, right? Now, I happen to have a network of single moms that I work with, and so those single moms actually sell items through Facebook Marketplace. You can't see it behind me, but there's one of the organizations that we support. I have this expression, it's basically from Abbotsford to the world. And so what we're doing is I'm working with a single mom. She's based out of Pitt Meadows, and we have a storage facility, and we put smaller, higher-end items into the storage facility, and then she's selling them online. And so the way that it works, I'll give you kind of the detail. She gets 45% of the sale of it, and then we have Amani Orphan Care, which is on my left shoulder, you guys can't see. They're a local orphanage that was started by Kim and Jeff Lee here in Abbotsford, and they're responsible for over 170 orphans in Kenya. And then I have a friend, and my friend, his organization is called Casa Alto Refugio, and it's another orphanage in Mexico. And so between these two orphanages, they get 50% of the total amount of earnings that we generate each year. And as I said, 45% goes to the single mom, and then we have a 5% administrative overhead. So that's part one. The second part is we work with about 7 different organizations in the city of Abbotsford. As I live in Abbotsford, I like to be able to energize and empower the area that I'm in. So what that looks like is we work with Bibles for Missions. We work with Habitat for Humanity. You may not be familiar with Habitat for Humanity, but what they do is they provide low-entry housing with the government. They build houses for families that can't normally be able to get into the housing market. So we are able to donate items to them. We work with Bibles for Missions. We work with MCC. And we work with the Salvation Army, and lastly, we work with Hidden Treasures. Hidden Treasures, they connect with people who are in prison, and basically they find volunteers to go and spend time with the people who are in prison. So we're doing a lot from that regard. And then I have a tendency to just even in the community, in the neighborhood that I live in, just knowing my different neighbors and knowing their kids and knowing their shoe size, knowing their jacket size, knowing their toy preferences, those kinds of things, we kind of redistribute things in that way as well.
That is so different when some of the ways that you do your business differently than others. That is amazing.
So that's the side of redistribution of valuable assets, okay? Mm-hmm. Then the secondary side is recycling. So from a recycling perspective, we recycle cardboard, we recycle glass jars, we recycle electronics, we recycle paint, we recycle oil, we recycle gas, we recycle drywall, and I'm sure there's a couple other things that aren't coming to plastic, residential plastic.
And you said you're out of Abbotsford, but what other areas will you go to?
Sure. So 85% of my business happens in Abbotsford. I have a large client that is based in Surrey, and they send me all over the place. They are a painting and restoration company, so they deal with fire and flood and restoration. And once they get everything gussied up, then they bring me in to take out all of the stuff that doesn't work, right? But I work with Mission. I'm in Mission sometimes. I'm in Chilliwack. But as I said, 85% of my business is here in the city of Abbotsford because I have a beautiful wife and I love to come home for lunch.
And on that, my husband's trying to call me right now. So, Richard, okay, I'll call you later. Sorry to interrupt our flow here.
No problem.
Because I sent him home. Joel, I wanted to ask, because you went from starting with the car, and now, of course, I've seen you around town, and you've got your logo, and you've got your branding on your vehicles, and you've got a half a dozen guys who work with you now, who obviously have the same mindset as you, and heart as you, goals as you, passions as you. Who is now your target customer? Like, who should hire you? Who should call you? Who needs you? And who do you?
Super great question. So one of the demographics of people that I feel are overlooked and not treated as fairly as they should be is senior citizens. And so I have a special rate for senior citizens. And then I also have had the experience of working with people when they passed away. So working with their families in order to, basically clear out estates as well. I do work with Menno Housing and some of the other organizations that are senior facilities. They asked me to come in and help because, maybe their parents have either passed away or they're changing the furniture that they have, or they're downsizing. I do a ton of downsizing where we get people where their children have grown up and now they're like, well, we've got this house. Of course, you know what the market's done. Pricing has gone up in, 30 to 70% in the last 6 to 8 months. So a lot of people are maybe leaving from here and they're relocating to a different province. Or, as I said, you've got the downsizing thing. So you've got people that are kind of 50s, 60s, 70s. They're probably not interested in breaking their back anymore. So they're going to hire us and know that when we come in, we do things entirely differently. I forgot, fluorescent lights. We recycle fluorescent lights as well, the ones from people's garages and stuff like that. So that's one of the areas. I do have sometimes young single moms and stuff like that. Oh, that's very important. I want to mention that as well. I have a tendency to do one job for free per month for a single mom or someone that's in an emotional or mental state that they're not able to have the wherewithal in order to have the finances to do that.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, we just, just saying my own story. My wife passed away in 2008. I raised 2 boys by myself for 15 months. My boys were 11 months and 22 months old when my wife passed away. And so if you flip that on its head and you change that to being a single mom, she's got to get those kids out the door for school. She's got to be available to them and stuff like that. But then she's also got to find some kind of an income in order to keep carrying on. And unfortunately, sometimes that's a really difficult balance, right? Because you have this heart that the mother has, but you have this provision that's required. And sometimes they don't mesh. And when they don't mesh, you need to have people in the community out in ways that allow that to happen.
You know what? Having said that, I wanna give back in a small way as well, because I think that's so amazing, and I want to encourage your integrity and what you're doing for others. And anybody listening to this show, if you call Joel and need some junk removal done, then I'd like to pay for up to $250 of your junk removal. So that's my offer for any listeners today, and I'd like to offer that. So Joel, be in touch with me if somebody calls you about that, so I can pay for my portion.
For sure, that sounds really awesome. That's really, really kind of you, and it's just great to see how you have your heart reflects when you see something like that, and that's great, right? It's just we all one of the things as we've gone through COVID in the last couple of years. Like, this is one of the things for me. I had people calling and they're like, hey, I would like to get these items removed. And so I just say, So just tell me what's your status right now? Oh, I've been laid off. Oh, my hours got cut back. Oh, I'm not working. You know, these kinds of circumstances that were directly related to COVID, right? Or people, I've even had people, they've lost their business, like their business is gone because of COVID, right? So I was trying to communicate with people along that lines, you know, where are you at, you know? And then, you know, just to give you an idea, when I talk about seniors as well, the senior, I have a special rate for seniors. So I have a minimum, okay? My minimum, I will not get in my truck with my team. My guys have WorkSafe. We have business liability insurance, $2 million business liability insurance. We won't get in our truck and go to someone's house for less than $125 plus GST.
Makes sense.
But if you're a senior, it's $99 is our minimum, right? Because I just think it's the right way to do business, right? I mean, if I was a senior, I would want people to treat me with that kind of respect. And for whatever reason, we don't value seniors, and I think that is a crime in our society.
That's so right. And thank you so much for doing that. Thank you. It's really, and I agree with you there. I wish we had more time, but
okay.
But you know what? Is there anything else you wanted to tell our listeners before we move into some new listings and the show?
Yeah, for sure. So if you have a lot of items that you're looking to get rid of, or you're not sure, or maybe you've never even had junk removal and you've sold your house, I've done a ton of move-outs. So if you're listening and you've sold your place and it's like, but the subjects say I've got to get this back 40 cleaned up or whatever it is, our company, we've done massive jobs and multiple trailer loads of jobs. I've worked with hoarders, I've worked with seniors, I've worked with young, Gen Xers. It doesn't make a difference, millennials. It doesn't make a difference. If you want someone to come out and to just give you a free estimate, or maybe just give you advice on what are the items that could be possibly recycled that you don't have to pay someone to take them away, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. Our company, as I said, we've been in business for over 5 years. We're based here right in downtown Abbotsford, and we have over 125 five-star reviews on Google Business.
And you can re-listen to this show on country1071.com's website or my website at michellecummins.ca to find information for Joel. And again, it's Integrity Junk Removal if you Google him. And thank you so much, Joel. Thank you. And the 3 new listings this week is a commercial building and business for sale. And this is a well-maintained, fabulous restaurant in the heart of Agassiz, a gorgeous building, completely renovated inside and out just in the last few years. And this is a fantastic opportunity to get into the main core of Agassiz. And it's $1,850,000. Call me if you're interested in that commercial space. And then I've got a basement entry in Hassock, on Hassock Island, and it's got an above-ground suite. It's priced at $1,190,000, and it's a 6,200 square foot lot, and the house is over 2,600 square feet. And then a brand new property, 7 acres, I should say, brand new to the listing, it just hit the market, and it's a log rancher with a full walkout basement. It's got 4-stall barn with automatic waters. It's got a sand riding ring. It's got an in-ground pool. It's got a huge clean workshop. It is gated. It is wonderful. It's beautiful, right in the heart of Mission. $2,825,000 for this amazing, beautiful log rancher with basement. And then I wanted to end the show with our quote. So, before the quote, though, my Arden listing in East Abbotsford, we had an accepted offer subject to the sale of, and it's falling through. So this beautiful gem is going to be available again. So if you're interested, have a look at the drone video and information on that one. And our quote is, some days you have to create your own sunshine. And that is unknown who thought of that one. But, it's true. Some days you have to create your own sunshine.
It's funny because I've been saying that for years to my wife. Well, not that exact statement, but I say sometimes you got to make your own sunshine.
Oh, there you go. It's Curtis Pope's quote then.
Well, I'll take partial credit for it, but it's not really mine.
You should.
Now, if people want more information about your listings or maybe the services you provide as a realtor, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.